Live from Honolulu, Hawaii, it's Baptiz by Fire. And here's your host, Justin Baptiz.
And welcome back to another episode of Baptized by Fire, Conversations with Justin. We dive into the stories, struggles, and triumphs of our incredible guests. I'm your host, Justin Baptiste. And we're here with a very special guest all the way in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's been doing music for quite some time. And I must say, if you haven't heard about this artist right now, I want you guys to make sure you guys go to all your streaming platforms and check out this artist we have out here today, Stephen Joseph. How you doing, my friend?
Appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
You've been having quite the success in your career. I gotta ask you, you just recently released your fourth album, Channel 95. So let's talk about that and creativity behind it.
Yeah, man. I've been at this for I think this is my seventh year, sixth or seventh year, making music. And honestly, since my previous project, The Book of Joseph, I feel like I've had a slow trajectory of like trying to figure stuff out. I'm starting to figure things out, starting to reach a new audience, starting to gain a new fan base. And this new project, Channel 95, was just basically about, in short, just about figuring things out in life. I'm getting older, trying to do my music career and family life and juggling, my parents are getting older. I'm married, like just juggling the whole life responsibility and what that entails as I go forward. So Channel 95 is essentially just adapting and learning as you go. And so not to get too deep, but because I go on and on about the album, but yeah, Channel 95 is just a culmination of just the stuff that I've been going through over the last like 2.5 years and just putting it all in songs. So
You mentioned about the creation behind Channel 95. I gotta ask you, the name, Channel 95. Why that particular name? And I know that you mentioned that you've been going through things in the last 2 years. What were some of the things that you've gone through, and how did you overcome it?
yeah, man. So Channel 95, 95 is the year that I was born. And channel is just I do all my stuff through mediums or like through different types of media or things you see on a day-to-day basis. So my last album was The Book of Joseph, and then the one before that was a video game. So I like to do like things that people can gravitate towards. So this time was TV, and I chose the name Channel 95 because since we're born, we all have influences that dictate our decision making as we go through life. For me, obviously I'm a big TV guy. I love sitcoms, especially when I was growing up. And the stuff that I would see, like the after school specials, like really influenced like how I see the world and how I see life. So in this album, I kind of like painted as you're on your own TV show. Or I'm not, you're in my own TV show. And again, you just go through different phases of like how I see things and how I navigate through life in this chapter of my life. And we, a lot of people base their lives upon what they see on social media or TV, and they feel like they're missing out on something because we live in a generation now where it's like, you got to get it. You got to go and get it. And if you don't have it, you feel like you're missing out on whatever everybody else has because you're seeing it on a constant basis, day-to-day basis. And so the theme for this album was, are you willing to live your life like no one's watching? Because it's you versus you at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what everybody else has, how far along people are, who's behind you. It's you versus you. So what are you going to do with the time that you have that you are on this planet? So that's Channel 95 in a nutshell.
Awesome, man. Now you mentioned TV.
Yeah.
What show was one of your biggest influences or inspiration?
Man, I'm a big comedy guy. So I mean, I see things in a very comedic lens. Growing up early, Fresh Prince was a show that I used to watch. Everybody Hates Chris was a good TV show that I watched on rerun all the time. The Office, uh, well, I can go on and on, but like just the sitcoms and realizing that life isn't as serious as people paint it out to be. Yes, there are serious moments and there's our serious times and stuff like that, but all in all, man, you just got to find the light in things. Because, like I said, we're only here for a short amount of time. So you just got to find the brighter side of things instead of focusing on the negative. So again, I'm a comedy guy through and through.
So in regards to your latest album, Channel 95, for real, it's a
Mhm.
viral hit,
Yeah.
and definitely want to ask you about that single. It's one of my favorite songs off of your album. So let's kind of talk about that. Let's dive into it and just what kind of created that, what kind of inspired that for you.
Yeah, man. So before that, we did two singles, and I was really trying to figure out how to get a new audience. I spent like I would say almost a year and some change trying to figure out how to, like one, how to promote this thing and bring people in. And then it got to the point where it just became like I became a shell of myself where I was just thinking way too much and not doing anything. And so my brother, Jordan Joseph, who makes all the beats, all the stuff that you heard, he's made every single song. And he showed me the beat. He came over and I hadn't made anything for like 6 months. And so he was like, all right, man, I got some stuff for you to hear. I was like, man, if it's not uplifting, I can't do it right now. I'm not in a space. As soon as he played them horns, I was like, yo, this is it. And so my mind immediately went to, I was like, man, this has got to be on like every jumbotron in Vegas. It's got to be in every sporting event, everything. We got to have it. So we were like, this is the lead single for sure. Like I said, I had the other two songs beforehand, and we made the track in 24 hours. He sent me the beat. I was so enthusiastic about it that I turned around and I was like, oh, I got to write to this today. I filmed or recorded it the next day. I turned around and gave it back to him. And he's like, "You did this in 24?" I was like, "Yes." And that's when I knew that Channel 95 had to be done. Because once I found that track, I was like, okay, I'm in that mode.
In regards to the growth, the development of your music career, I kind of want to go to the very beginning. Now, from what I know about you and your career, you started at the age of 20, in which you took it serious. However, kind of curious though, before you decided to pursue a career, which you began at the age of 20,
Mhm.
what were some of your career goals in mind? To touch also on that as well, you mentioned that your brother was your go-to producer from the very beginning, Jordan Joseph, and definitely want to ask you, just how significant and how important was that at that time to get you to the place that you're at right now?
Man, I mean, obviously we grew up together. So me and Jordan, we've been doing this music thing since the beginning, and we've always had a love for music. I think before it was just like we just love to make raps and we love to make beats. And so when I put out my first couple of things, it was like freestyles and stuff like that. And people were gravitating towards it. And my brother was making beats at such a high rate. It was like, oh, this is just not a hobby. He's gifted. Like he's really talented. And so for me, I wanted to figure out how to enhance that for him. And I was like, how can I compliment him? So I just kept writing, kept rapping. And by the age of 20, because ironically, I went to school for broadcast journalism at UNLV. So I graduated with a bachelor's, and that was my career path. I was like, I want to do that. But then something happened around like 20 where I just kept rapping, kept writing, and then the respect of the cities just started to come in, and people were like, "Man, you're really good at this. You should like do more stuff, and we should collab here and collab there." And then all of a sudden, it just turned into like, "Okay, I'm doing music. This is it." So thanks to a lot of people in the city that got me on stages and stuff like that, where they were just like, "Oh no, come over, just do a 16 or come rap with me on this show." Um, and just giving me the opportunity, it just gave me the encouragement to turn around and, rap full time. So just a lot of community, honestly. Without like the people around me, I don't think I would be rapping at this point, but people encouraged me to get on stage and share my thoughts and my perspective on life. And here we are today.
You mentioned about broadcast journalism. When you decided to pursue music as a full time, how easy was it of a decision for you to just select it?
Honestly, I'm still in it right now. I still have to, as an artist, still, I'm on the way to where I want to be. But I had to make a decision where I was going to choose the path of a career in broadcast journalism, or I was going to do this. And I worked at a radio station. I was music MD, music director. I was working for some news broadcast places too. Like I did it all, and I just got to the point where I was just like, I don't feel fulfilled in doing this. Doesn't mean that I won't go back and like start doing podcasts like later on, but I just had more of a passion for doing the music. And so going forward, it's still a day-to-day thing. Like I put 110% into the music, but obviously funds and taking care of my family and stuff like that is something that I'm still trying to adjust to and get through every day. um, but it's for me in my music career, because I'm seeing the progress and seeing things change. It's been really gratifying to see that all this stuff is starting to come together. And it wasn't until I believe like I want to say 2 years ago where I was like, okay, it's all or nothing. Because before then, when I was 20, I had part-time jobs and stuff like that too, 9 to 5s and stuff like that. But now it's like, okay, this is it. There's no parachute. Nobody's coming to save you. We're going to do this. And because of this, I've been having the ascension that you've seen. I've been able to talk to people like you, and people are reaching out. So it's working. It's just all taking time.
So, in regards to your success in music and in your career, I know that we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but were there any things that happened in your life, whether it's been hardest moments or things that you might have faced personally or professionally in your career so far? And how did you overcome it?
Man, so in I would say who hasn't didn't experience this, but in 2020, we all know 2020. I had just gotten a job at Beasley Media Group, which is a radio broadcast company. And I believe the year before that, I had just graduated from college. So I'm like in my career, like we're good, and I'm working there and I'm doing promotions and stuff. And in 2020, I got furloughed. And so at the same time, I was about to bury my now wife. So imagine being furloughed. You lose your job, you're about to get married, you don't know where the funds are going to come from. And then on top of that, I believe a couple months later, I had just gotten a car in that period of time. So my car gets stolen. So like it's like what is going on here? Like I understand the pandemic, but it was just a lot of different stuff. And at that moment, I knew I was like, I probably have to quit music because of all this. Like I have to take care of my wife, financial responsibilities. Like music is not important right now. And so that's why I took the hiatus between my Loading album and the Book of Joseph album, because it was just a lot of life being life. I had to make a decision. I was like, well, at that time, I was kind of doing music. Like I was doing music, putting out albums, but I wasn't like promoting it. I wasn't like going 110%. It was kind of passive and things were still happening, but it wasn't like I was doing this as this is the only thing. And I talked to my wife, and my wife was like, I'm with you no matter what you do. I believe that you can do anything that you put your mind to. You're talented. Your music is good. Don't worry about us financially. I know you'll always figure out a way for us to be okay. And that right there told me everything I needed to know. So from then on, from the Book of Joseph till now, I was like, I got to give 110%. And that's that 2 year gap, or that 2 year uh time frame between those two albums. So yeah, it was hard. It was hard because when you don't have transportation and then you're walking everywhere and you're trying to make sure that you have trying to figure out where your car is at and when the parts are going to come in, and you're supposed to plan a wedding and you don't have, like, it was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't. But we here now. We bounced back. My wife is my rock, and because of that, I'm grateful for everything that she's helped me with, my family as well. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
Now I'm quite curious. Before deciding to pick a music career, what did you enjoy about broadcast journalism that you wanted to pursue it as a full-time thing if you had not picked music? And you mentioned about the break. You mentioned about taking your hiatus.
Yeah.
Talk about what are some ways or how you've been able to be effective on social media, be able to promote yourself.
Man, that's a loaded question. Just like you, I'm sure you love going and deep diving and like seeing how things are made and why things happen and introducing new stories that people don't know about. Like for me, that was me on the music side. Like any Coachella or any podcast or like when they do the interviews backstage, I am locked in 24/7. Like whenever there's a documentary that comes out about my favorite artist, no matter what, I'm always locked in because I love seeing the behind the scenes portion of those artists. And I'm like, I know I'm not the only person that wants to know more. So I went into broadcast journalism, more for the music side. I enjoy sports too, but it was more music. And I just wanted to be able to put other people on to new artists, new stories, new upcoming things that are happening in the city. And so that was my initial thought process is getting my broadcast journalism degree. And so like for me, it was great. But then I was like, I'm an artist too. So I was like, I have to toe the line. And I was like, I got to pick a side. As far as my social media goes, it's been a process. It's been a process trying to figure out how to like work the algorithm and sometimes your stuff doesn't show to everybody. But recently, like I said, in this 2-year span, recently, I've been able to figure out how to market and I've been running a lot of ads, which I think that's how you got here. I'm pretty sure I ran an ad on one of my videos and I've been doing that. So what I do is here's the secret sauce. What I do is I post a video. If the video yields about, I want to say like half my audience or more, I'm like, all right, this one's, I know people outside of my audience are gonna like this. There's no way. There's how many billions of people on the planet? There's got to be somebody else that likes this. So what I do is I find a video that does well, in within my niche. I put the money towards it, and this is like very small money. So like for me, it's like $50 for a week. And then I move on and I see what it does. If it does well outside, I run them again. I run the ads again. So that's been my secret sauce for that. And I also do the stuff on different platforms as well. So and it's been working. It's been working. But yeah, growing the social media, it's always changing. Algorithms always changing, and I'm still trying to figure that stuff out. But that's the one thing that's been constant: is run them ads, run the ads, run the ads.
For sure, man. I mean, hey, it's all about how you market yourself. It's all about how you promote yourself, that you get yourself out there.
Exactly, exactly.
Definitely proud of you and your success, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a journey. We're still climbing, but like I said, some of the stuff is working. Like I said, doing stuff like this, the podcast. I'm starting to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff because, like we talked about earlier, I love doing behind the scenes stuff. So I'm like, there's got to be somebody that wants to see how this stuff comes about, right? So I'm like, all right, let's just do a YouTube channel, put the behind the scenes stuff, and hopefully that'll grow as we go. But just trying to market and catch people in different points in their lives, because not everybody wants to see you just do music. They want to know you as the person. So
Absolutely. Now, in regards to music, your sound is hip hop. Tell us how you've been able to develop your sound and create your sound as an artist.
man, I listen to everything. It'd be crazy too, because if you're riding around with me in the car, especially after the album drop, you'd be like, "You're listening to jazz right now? What's going on?" But I listen to everything, and you can hear it, especially in this last album. You can hear the full embodiment of who I am as a person. Like you can hear everything. I love neo soul. I love like these weird electronic sounds. I love boom bap hip hop. I love just anything you can think of. If I can fit it into a track, I'll put it in. It doesn't matter. And it may be unorthodox. And honestly, my previous tracks were a little unorthodox. They probably caught people off guard because I'm trying to figure out, oh, I was trying to figure out how to put these things together. But I think now, especially these last two albums, I've been able to figure it out, and like you get a good sense of who I am and what I listen to on a daily basis. But yeah, me and my brother, we play with all different types of sounds. It sounds like a zoo up there sometimes, but we play with a bunch of different sounds, and we just try to fit what we would like to hear if we're riding around in a car. And if we don't like that, then we don't put it on an album. And it's pretty simple as that. But going forward, I'll still be experimenting. I want to do a full neo soul album at one point in my life, and I don't know what that's going to look like at this point, but like things like that, I just try stuff. I just try everything.
Your creativity, you mentioned about your influences of music, you mentioned about just how things inspire you and how things have been able to develop for you in your career, which leads into my next question. We talked about earlier about just the things that you've developed in your career and how you got into the place that you're at right now. What is something, or what are things that you wish you would have known when you first started out in your career?
Ooh, that's a great question. All of these have been great questions. Man, don't be hesitant. And it kind of goes with what I was just saying earlier. Try everything. If you have an idea, execute. Because if you hold on to the ideas, you don't know if it's going to work or not. And now you're just stuck with the ideas, and you can't grow from that. When you're holding on to things and you're holding on to your ideas and the things that you think are special, and people don't get to see it, you never know what's going to come of it. You never know. My friends always talk about like the previous albums and like the first couple albums, and they're like, man, there's been such growth, and there's been such like development, and you don't get a Channel 95 without, my apologies or a loading. And again, some people may like those albums, some people may not like those albums, but in order for me to get to this point, I had to execute ideas and put stuff out. So I would tell my younger self at 20, especially, start at 15. Start at 15. Start early. Just start putting stuff out, because you never know what'll stick. There's a video of me, one of my more viral videos. I do these things called stay-at-home Sundays where I just rap over other people's beats. And I made a stay-at-home Sunday in 24 hours. I usually make them like really quick because I don't like to hold on to them. But I made it in 24 hours, and I'm holding a laundry basket in my living room. Like most people would be like, no, you got to get the right person here. You got to have the outfit, and you got to have like all this different stuff. But sometimes, man, you just do it. And it went. And that was one of the videos that I just kept running ads on afterwards, because I was like, yo, this is like 10 times my following. Because at the time I had like 2,000 followers. And then that skyrocketed, and that's why I was able to get the most of my followers from that one video, from holding a laundry basket, doing raps that I just happened to write in my living room. So again, you just never know who's going to gravitate to what. You never know. So just do it, try it, experiment, fail, try again. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Just put it out. Put it out.
With that being said, you mentioned about trying new things, you mentioned about trying it, see if you like it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I got to ask you, are you happy so far with your reach of following?
Now I am. Now I am. Like I said, it took a lot of me trying to figure out how to even branch out. I'm a person that takes in a lot of information, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But I've learned, like I said before, to just try everything, and don't be afraid to fail. I'm happy with where I'm at now. I obviously, hindsight, I wish I was I would have did it sooner. But you learn from it, and you can just continue to grow from here. Because honestly, the fact that I figured it out now, it's given me encouragement to go for the next, I don't know, 10 years. because I know that whether it's slow progress or really fast progress, I'm something's going to happen. And so for me, the fact that I see something happening is all the fuel that I need. It doesn't matter if it's small or big. I'm happy of where we've gotten to this point and the people that we've been able to talk to and reach. And like 20-year-old me would be like, wow, somebody from Hawaii like is interviewing me. And I'd be like, yeah, this is happening. You got to stay patient and keep working on the stuff that you're working on. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with where we are now. Obviously, I want more, but I'm content for sure.
We talk about music artists, we talk about just the development, the growth, and what makes everybody different, what makes everybody unique. As an artist, what do you feel sets you apart from the rest of the pack? What makes you different? What makes you unique?
I mean, one of the glaring things, without getting into the cliches, without one of the glaring things is I don't cuss in my music, which people pick up on, after like the first couple songs. Because we're so used to like especially hip hop music, we're so used to like people just like going off and cussing all through the raps. But for me, I just never seen it be a fit for me. So that I guess that's one thing that separates me for sure. But um, just the type of music that we bring. We bring every single genre you can think of into our music. We try everything. Every time you listen to an album, you press play, you're gonna get something different. None of my albums sound the same. We always try to push the envelope as far as music goes, and putting yourself out there. I think a lot of artists get caught up of the perception and how things look, and uh if this doesn't have this many views or whatever the case is, like it stops their whole growth. It stops their whole like motion of what they want to do. And for me, that's been the biggest help for me. It's just been able to be in like, all right, man, if this doesn't work, then we're on to the next thing. And it wasn't always like that, but now it is, and it's helped me tremendously. So again, just trying out new things, my music sound, the stuff that me and my brother put together, it doesn't sound like anybody else. And I know there's a lot of artists that say that, but like genuinely, like when you press play, you're like, oh, I can't. You may get some hints of things, but to have it on one album, I don't think there's anybody that's putting it together, especially here in Vegas. There's nobody that's putting it together like we do. So, um, and that's me just talking a little talk. I don't usually talk like that, but when it comes to music, yeah.
Which leads into my next couple of questions. What are your short term, what are your long term goals when it comes to your career and your personal growth? And I know that we mentioned a little bit earlier about albums. Just dropped your fourth album. It'd be a neo soul album in the next few years, upcoming year, future goals, whatnot it may be. But what are also collaborations you might want to pursue, and what are some specific projects that you're working on? What's coming up next? What's the future?
Man, it's funny because you said collaborations, and honestly, that's something that I didn't do a lot of when I was younger, because I was so focused on, I was like, I have to be the one, I have to be the one. And honestly, that stunts your growth too. Not collaborating with people, not letting people in, and something that I wish I would have did more of when I was younger. But man, going forward, long term, I don't need to be Drake. I don't need to be Kendrick. I don't need to be ironically I said those two names together, but I don't need to be those guys. I just want to be able to support my family off of this. And honestly, I love music. If I'm able to create and get up and I can just get up and do that for a living, that's all I need. I don't need anything else. The awards, the accolades, everything else, if it comes, it comes, but I don't need any of that. I just need to be able to support my family off of this. And then if I'm able to make music and put my family in position to succeed, because we do a lot of collaboration work where I have like my team is my family, essentially, like people that I've grown up with. I want to give them opportunities to succeed. It's not really about me. I don't really care about the flash and the glitz and the glamour and stuff like that. I just want to help people. In short term, kind of the same thing, just giving people opportunities. I've always been a person that if I see you working, and you're trying to do something, it doesn't even have to be music related. If you're doing anything, I want to help. And so we've done a couple of months ago, I did my one of my friends that used to cut my hair in high school. He's at his own barbershop now. And I gave him some money so people can get free haircuts, but then also tried to help him because I know like that's important. And we've been rocking for a long time. My friend Tyler, he's behind the scenes. He's doing the behind the scenes stuff with me. A guy that I met at one of my friends, Raph, who is doing all the videos that you see. We met in college when I was broke and I couldn't afford anybody to help me shoot videos. Just putting people in position to like succeed, man. And just like if they have a passion for it, let's do it. Let's do it. So short-term, long-term goals, pretty much the same, man. Just help people and just get to the point where we can just like spread it as far as possible.
And man, I can say I'm definitely proud of you and your success and your career. Definitely have a lot of great albums. Make sure you guys check out his fourth album, recently released right now on all your streaming platforms, Channel 95. Such a pleasure to have you here, Stephen, and wish you all the best, brother.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for having me.
And that concludes another conversation with Justin. You can reach Justin Baptiz on any of the social media handles listed here. So, until we meet again, remember, it's Baptiz by Fire.